You're live.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Floating Light Live. Welcome, Float family and friends, where we articulate, postulate, and disseminate the personal glow. Cool beats. My name is Megan. I'm your guide today. We are joined today with a very special guest who is very dear to our hearts. She has an amazing story to share, and I am excited to dig into it a little bit deeper. Cherilyn has been a guest and Float family from the first month we opened. She's taken the journey nearly 50 times, not once missing a month. Her story is one of healing and recovery. Cherilyn also suffers from fibromyalgia and has tried just about everything to solve the physical and emotional pain. That was until she found Float Light. And when we come back, we will go just a little bit deeper. Back, guys. We are back to our Floating Light Live. And I'm here. I don't usually join the round table, which coincidentally I've been gone the last 2 times that they have done it. So, interesting story. I just want to shout out to Jose, my mom, my dad, Harold, and Val. Welcome. You guys, this is an interactive show. So, if you have any questions or comments, we see all of them live. So please hit the love button, that little heart button. Make me a little bit more complete. Appreciate it. And tag your friends in the chat below. We are here with Cherilyn today. So we're going to kick out the show as we always do. We're going to start with how Cherilyn's float was today.
It was actually really good. Very relaxing. I right away went into what I call shutdown mode. I turn all the lights off, all the sound off, and just think of nothing and then relax. Let my body kind of regenerate, and relax. And then when I get out, it's like I'm all brand new. So it's great. It was really good.
I like it.
So, yeah.
I like it.
We are joined by 20 people.
Oh, we got 20 people on here. Awesome, guys. What's up? Hi, Eric. Hey, you lied to me and you didn't come float that one day. I even dared you. How rude.
Check out my hoodie, everybody.
With you, dude?
Check out my hoodie, everybody.
Look at Dan's hoodie, you guys.
Come get them.
We have hoodies
In
now.
stock. The exclusive hoodies.
Oh, yeah,
They are so cool.
And you could also come by Float Live and we could get you a glass of the kombucha. BFF kombucha.
Just a real quick PSA because it's necessary. Float Light hoodies on sale now. Exclusive.
We have black.
They are super awesome.
Ooh.
Quality.
They're really nice. Now Dan
High-tech
doesn't
linens.
freeze at work anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now I'm good.
These new Float Light hoodies were actually purchased just because of Dan.
Yep, there is extra
yeah.
large.
Danielle, we haven't gotten the tie-dye ones back yet. We had just purchased these recently because we had a lot of people asking about them. There is a navy though, and it's really, really sweet. I really like it.
So
I
more
picked
than
that
one
one
color.
out. Yeah, so there's black and there is navy as well, so y'all know.
Nice.
Yeah, so let's dig into Cherilyn a little bit, you guys.
Just want to make sure. Haley, yes, we have extra large, we have double XL, and we have triple XL. Just throwing that out there. Just so that they know.
Tony, you are not wrong.
Whoa, Tony.
All right.
That would have been a great
Now we can get
idea.
back to the show. Sorry.
Beautiful. Hey, Danielle's waiting for the tie-dye to come back.
We will get that eventually.
Danielle, we're working on it. Don't worry.
When we get it,
We'll get there. Got you, girl. Alrighty, so Cherilyn, start from the beginning of your story.
Well, I have fibromyalgia. I was diagnosed when I was 12, so I've had it for a pretty long time. I've gone through lots of different medications, tried lots of different things. Before Float Light, my go-tos were chiropractic and massage or craniosacral, which were great, but they always had a side effect. Whenever you work with muscles and stuff in fibromyalgia, it always causes more pain before you get the relief. So I always had to have a day or two after where everything hurt more before I actually felt better. We had read an article when Float Light was being built about all the different things they had to do in order to compensate for the train being next door and stuff. And it had sounded interesting. And then my husband saw another article after you guys had opened, and he did a little bit of research on it. And he said, well, maybe you should try this. And I'm like, okay. So I came, I think it was February of a year and a half ago. And I came with an open mind, but yet kept my expectations low, just because so often I hear that people have success stories with stuff, and I try it and it doesn't work for me. So I came the first time. It takes a little bit of that first float. It's always trying to figure out a little bit of what's comfortable, what's not comfortable, what do you want to do. I knew that I wanted to do the sensory deprivation version. I wanted no lights, no sound. But other than that, I didn't know, what positions or anything as far as floating, where to put my hands to be most comfortable and stuff. So I came out of that first float feeling pretty good. I went home and I probably had two of my best days that I had had in a long time. And I'm like, okay, this is good. But I was like, okay, it's new. I was probably excited, maybe I'm just hyped up, so it wasn't until the third time that I said to Jesse, I'm like, okay, now I can say that this works.
Wow.
Where my 7, 8, 9 pain levels go down to 2, 3, 4s for 24 to 48 hours. The more pain I'm in when I come, the little bit less it works. But for the most part now, my body has kind of gotten into that routine. It knows once it's in the tank, the lights are out, the music's out, I just relax and shut down. Occasionally I have to kind of go through the relax your feet, relax your legs, go through that a little bit, but they're very, I've done, I think 45, almost 50 of them. So now I know what's best, I know where I like my arms to be, to have my shoulders be in the right spot and things like that. So for me, it has been a lifesaver. Having the Float Fam has been amazing. It makes it very affordable to do it. I try to do it on a weekly basis. Obviously, my schedule gets in the way and stuff occasionally with it. And I've learned that I float best in the morning. I'm usually here right at opening, and I usually float on Thursday or Friday so that I have the pain relief for the weekend to hang with my family, to do activities, go to events and stuff like that. So it's very helpful. I definitely recommend it for anybody who has fibromyalgia and troubles with chronic pain that just doesn't seem to subside. So.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Being able to release in a tank is fascinating. People can be skeptical and they're like, is this really gonna work? Well, I'm alone with my thoughts. Yeah, but don't have to be.
Right.
But if you do, it's okay. However, whatever works for you,
right,
is what's best, I feel.
I've had some people say, well, don't you have to pay for it? I'm like, well, yeah, it comes out of my pocket, but so does massage, so does acupuncture, and so does,
anything else
craniosacral, and, a lot of those more natural things come out of your own pay. And like I said, with the Float family, it's very reasonable, and I've actually found it to be less expensive than most of the other stuff out there. So
absolutely, I agree with you 100%. The Float, that's why we wanted to give people who truly believed in our vision of flotation therapy. We wanted them to be like, hey, this works for me, and we were like, hey, here's this opportunity for you to get this at a reduced cost, or something that's more affordable for you, especially if you're using it frequently, and for something that is helping you. Like for me, with my my anxiety, depression, like I would come in every other week because that was what I needed. Because I was finally taking care of myself, because that's what myself needed. That was what my body told me. And it's okay to be selfish to help yourself. You don't always have to be taking care of somebody else. Like, you need to take care of you in order to take care of somebody else.
Definitely.
And I full-heartedly believe that.
Oh, definitely. I would say my family would support that 100%. They know the days that I floated, even if they don't look at the calendar to see it, they can tell because I'm more relaxed, and they can see that there's not that pain weighing me down. I don't see it as much just because I live with it, but they see it, and they'll know that I'm more mellowed and things, and we can have a great weekend or a great time together. If we have an event earlier in the week that we're going to, I will sometimes float earlier, but it definitely helps me to be able to be there for my family, to be able to do some more things, because that was one of the things that I struggled with. I had to stop working 3 years ago, and I was giving everything to work and nothing to my family, because I'd come home from work and be dead tired and sleep. I'd sleep the weekends away trying to recover. When I stopped working, it was, okay, let's find things and patterns, and it took 2 years to get kind of into a good place, and I think floating has definitely helped with that. This last year, the balance of everything between meds and the therapies that I've done and floating, I'm able to spend time at family events and participate in more, where it used to be my family went and I stayed behind because I wasn't up for it. So floating has allowed me to be able to take care of more things and be part of more things. So that's
absolutely
been really good.
And that's really truly remarkable. So who in your family has tried floating?
My daughter came. She actually came here with me once and said, oh, I could see just sitting here and listening to the music and drawing. So she came a couple of times. I know some people have seen her drawings, Danica's drawings in the...
Danica T.
Yeah, Danica T's drawings in the lounge.
Sub Rose.
And then she struggles with anxiety, and gets her mind is always running like 1,000 miles a minute. So I convinced her to float the one time, and she noticed the difference right away in her anxiety. Her brain afterwards, she was much more mellow for the next couple days, and she could process things that didn't go well better. And then, of course, she did more drawing, so she loves doing that. So.
Yeah, if any of you guys have seen Danica T's art in the lounge, I know many of our guests have commented on it, saying how beautiful it is. I have clients ask me, they're like, who's this Danica? Who's this Danica girl? And I'm like, I don't know who she is. I didn't at the time, and I happened to be here with you, and I was talking with you, and you had mentioned it, and I was like, what? Like, she's like 15 and a half years old, and she comes up with these amazing drawings, you guys. Even my brother's not even on Facebook. He's on Instagram, and he follows their page, and he's like, dude, who's Danica? I was like, I don't know. He's like, she has like these amazing drawings. Like this one he was looking at, he's like, this thing is the octopus one. He's like, this one was so cool. Like, look at it. I was like, yeah, I know, it's amazing. So
she loves using the coloring in here, where it makes certain things glow and stuff. She likes having that aspect that you don't get anywhere else. So
100% true. Even with John's lights, they're pretty obnoxious. Love you. But they just like, they constantly change colors, which like is totally cool, totally awesome. There's this like really obnoxious red that comes through.
Yep.
I love
it. Danica has commented the one time she was here and John's lights were on. She goes, it's really hard to draw when it turns the reddish, orangish colors. She goes, I have to wait for it to lighten up so I can see again. And so.
Yes, 100% true. Even when I'm like talking to guests and he'll leave, at 8 o'clock, and I'll be running around the float center, and I have one of my clients, he's always like, he'll sit there and be like, whoa, what is he's like, I'm like, oh, like, sorry, dude, gotta change it. And I'll like quickly run to the back and quickly change it before or I'll know now to change it before he even comes out of his tank, because I don't know, it's just, it helps, and it's amazing. It really is something that is truly remarkable.
Yeah, you could check out Danica's work on our Instagram. There's like 2 pieces on there.
Yep, I was gonna say they've taken a couple of pictures of it and posted it.
But
so.
it's another thing to experience it here at Float Light and see it change with the lights. It's just awesome.
Yeah, even with it being in, you know, John's setting, like the way it changes is just fascinating. We do have, you know, the what's it called? Blue UV lights, or the UV lights,
the black light.
Black light a little bit in the back. So when the neon color hits it, you know, it changes from
pops
all these different colors. Cherilyn was saying how one of her drawings was actually all pink, but in the light it wasn't pink. It was like
it was dark
yellow.
Water. It was the water behind the octopus. That when you actually looked at it with light, it was more pinks and reds than it was blues, like you'd expect water to be.
Yeah, so that was like super like fascinating, and how she's used the lights to hit it properly, and the relaxation of just like it in general.
It
like,
breathes.
Yep.
Right, like it's mind-boggling. It really truly is.
Yeah. Other than that, I think my sisters come and floated. And then we had some friends here. My parents host EAA guests. Some of the missionaries from UIM, and they came. She came and floated and said it was really cool. She said she would have loved to have done it a second time, because the first time you're trying to figure it all out, but she really enjoyed it too. It was something different for her to try.
That's fantastic. So. Yeah, I try to bring in any friends or family that I can. Like, obviously, it took Danica. How long did it take for you to convince her to come in?
Well, she came right away to hang out, but it took 3 visits before she decided that she was going to get in and actually float in the tank and try it and stuff. And what's really cool is you guys have that 3D model where you can actually walk through the building and stuff, and I helped her by walking her through the building and talking about everything beforehand, and then her anxiety was better, because when we joke at our house we have NEW syndrome. I struggle a little bit with it, she struggles with it, so anything that's new is very anxious. For the first time I came in, I know my anxiety was pretty high. I had read the web page like 4 or 5 times. I looked at the thing and I'm like, okay, I can do this, and now it's like, what was I ever afraid of? Right.
And that is 100% true. Like, even with our guests who are like, oh my God, like, what was I anxious about? Or they will come in anxious. Or I have guys who come in before they float, and I'll give them a tour, and they're like, oh wow, this is nothing like I expected it to be. And I'm like, exactly. That's why I always tell you guys, like, if we have openings, like, we'll show you the rooms. Like, I'm more than happy to show you what it looks like. And a lot of times, the virtual tour, I convinced John to post it. That's kind of what convinced my mom and dad to actually come in a sense. I was like fascinated by it. I was like, Mom, Dad, look at this. Like, I showed everybody in my family it. I have special access to the Float Collective, and for some reason I was looking through it and I found that John had posted it in there. It was super hidden wherever I had found it, and I was like, you guys gotta see this. So like I started showing everybody it, and like I was in the process of building my massage room as well, and I was like, oh my God, like this is where my room's gonna be. Like, look at it, like how awesome this is.
I say they definitely need to do a new one, because the pod wasn't open yet when they first opened.
Correct.
I was actually reminiscing with my husband. I'm like, the pod wasn't open when I started floating. They didn't have washcloths in the tanks. They didn't have the baskets. They didn't have the mats. I'm like, the beanbag chair was there. Yes. I'm like, I was going back and I've been watching, even we were just talking about Float Light Live and how it started with just a GoPro and now how far it's come. I'm like, it's been kind of fun to watch Float Light grow and continue to take in the advice and suggestions and develop things. And one of the things I tell people, I'm like, is you walk in with nothing. I'm like, Float Light provides everything you need, from contact cases, deodorant, hair ties, makeup remover, baskets for your clothes, combs, hair dryer. I'm like, you literally need nothing when you go there. So it's not like when you go to exercise or you go someplace and you're like, okay, I need to take my own this and my own that and grab this, and you have this whole bag of things that you have to bring. You just come as yourself and then do your thing and then come out and relax and
evolve.
Yeah.
That's kind of like even like, as I'm sure Dan has seen this as well, as us as employees, we see people come in who are anxious or they're depressed or they have something going on, and you watch them evolve themselves and how not only has it changed them their lives, but how even ourselves change their lives. I have numerous people who have come here just to see me or to hang out with me or to talk to me or just to, they get the presence of somebody being there. And I've had numerous guys be like, Megan, you changed my life. Like, you take us on our journey, but like being able to sit down and talk with you sometimes afterwards, it's like it takes that experience to a whole nother level. Yep. And I was like, I agree, and like I love getting to know my guests. I really truly do. Like seeing my people evolve for the better. Yep. Not only helping themselves. I have a gentleman who has social anxiety really bad, and he it's just he's in a shell a lot of times. And I've awoken and I've talked to him numerous times, and like within 10 minutes of him coming out of a tank, we had a conversation flowing. And that's how it always is now. Like he's excited to sit with me, talk with me for a little bit, and reflect on life and have these super deep, awesome conversations. And same thing goes for Dan. I come out of Float sometimes, and like even walking up here today, I was like, yes, Dan's gonna be up front, and he's like, what's up, Megan? I was like, what's up, my dude? Like, hey, like, but that's how it is. Like, I get excited, even myself, when I come out. Like, I get excited to see like my people, like they like, especially with like Jessie. Like, not a lot of people always get to see this amazing side of her. That like we get to see, as working with her all the time. Jessie is definitely a gem. Hold her very close to my heart. But not a lot of people like get to see that side of her. And when you do, like, it's just like so amazing. And even with John, like you can get into some like random deep conversations with him, and you're like, did we just do that? Like what? Like this isn't normal. Like dude. But, like, that's how it is sometimes. I mean, same thing with Josh, we'll get into conversations sometimes, and whether it's before live or after live or even after floats, we always are just, like, just have this, like, great conversation or just get in that flow of life.
I enjoy I most of my floats are in the morning and Jessie's here, so I've gotten to know Jessie actually really, really well. But also being in the float lounge, I usually spend about an hour in there or until I can finish a bottle of water. Because I found that if I rush that part, then I lose the effect of the float. That after part is so important, just to hang out and relax, even if it's just reading some of the books back there or just drawing or doodling. I have a coloring app on my phone that sometimes I'll do that just to relax and stuff. But getting to see people who have floated for the first time, I'll start a lot of them into conversations, and I'll be like, hey, how's it, how was it? What was it like? And just getting to see their journeys and remembering what it was like back when I first started and things is a neat opportunity that I really enjoy being able to do, is chat with other guests and stuff that come out of the floats. So
absolutely. And I've had numerous people say that they're just like, it's always great having the journey by yourself, but like to be able to share it with somebody like a newbie, like it just takes it to a whole nother level. It really does. Like, I don't know.
I have a question for you, Cherilyn.
Sure.
What was like the most impactful float you've ever had? Like, was there a message or something, or like a dream? Like, I know you said you don't necessarily fall asleep, but do you get like these images that pop in your head and scenarios play around in your head?
Not usually. I would say my most eventful as far as like processing stuff would be if I'm trying to figure out how to solve a problem at home, or sometimes when I'm trying to figure out how to work with my kids on something, my brain will come up and problem solve faster and easier because there's no nothing impacting the processing. One of the things that I was tested for because of fibromyalgia and because of the pain, I actually have a cognitive disability. My processing and working memory is slower. And so the more pain I'm in, the harder it is for me to think things through. I have a hard time sometimes coming up with words. So I'll be like stuck and I'll be like, I have no idea what that word was that I wanted, or I'll completely lose my train of thought. And so when I float, or even just after, I float, the day or two after, I'm able to communicate a little bit easier. I'm able to process a little bit easier. So I would say that has probably been where I'm most successful in things. I don't, like you said, I don't sleep just because I have sleep apnea, so I jolt awake when I stop breathing. And I don't probably dream a lot or, have visions per se, but it's more just going through, I do a lot of mindfulness activities to help with the pain. So sometimes if I can't completely relax in the tank, I'll do a mindful activity. I might start thinking of all of the things I successfully accomplished over the last couple of days, because it's really easy with fibro to say, well, I didn't get this cleaned, I didn't do that, I didn't do this, but I have to remember, okay, I took a shower, that's a huge success. I got one load of laundry folded. I was able to spend 20 minutes with my daughter doing homework. So sometimes in the tank, I'll go through those kinds of things and I'll start to realize, oh, hey, I did get a lot done for who I am, and things that way. So it does help in those ways too.
And that's very important, that we all need to exercise the self-talk and realize like you're doing better than what you think you're doing,
Yep. Yeah. It's very easy to look at all the negative, to feel inadequate, that you're not doing enough in life, that you're not successful. When I had to stop working, I felt like I wasn't giving anything back to society. I felt useless. So doing the mindfulness activities was very helpful, and the self-talk that way through,
Serene.
I like it. Sorry, that was awesome. I was like, but no, and I do agree 100%. I have learning disability myself. John has learning disability. So that's something that like we hold dear to ourselves. And yeah, I have the same issue. Sometimes I'll just like what were we talking about? What were we saying? Shoot. And then I'll come back like, okay, like, no, I got this. Or like energetically, I'll start speaking, or I'll just like word vomit. I'm like, all right. You guys are just gonna speak to me today. It's cool. It's fine. It's all right. Whatever happens, happens. But all good things though. Like,
how was your float, Megan?
Oh yeah, I floated. It was really good. I went to a concert yesterday. Went to see the Jonas Brothers. So I had like a lot of sensory overload last night. And I actually ended up having like a panic attack in the middle of the concert.
What?
Like 30 minutes into the Jonas Brothers, I like freaked out. I was like, this isn't normal. Why is this happening? And there's like previous anxiety before it. Driving down to Milwaukee, and we left a little bit late from the dinner place that we had wanted to. So I was a little bit aggravated with that and trying to find a parking spot and everything. But yeah, like 30 minutes into the Jonas Brothers, I like went into like pure anxious. And I was like, what is going on? Like, it was very odd for me. It was and it wasn't. So like I had some guides that I had like called to in like the middle of a blaring concert. I'm like, yo, I need some help right now. Like, please. I was so close to leaving. So like today's float was really important for me because I had the sensory overload. So being able to deplete everything was exactly what I needed. I was telling John when I came out, I'm like, dude, I could have been in there for 3 hours today. I just was very well rested, and I know tonight I'm going to sleep very well. I also had a training on Monday. I did some energy work, new energy that I'm learning with Tammy and Ron. So I've been working with them once a week for an hour or two, learning new things, and they're teaching me like all this amazing stuff with this energy that we're learning, and super, super grateful for them. So we had a great time with that Monday night. So I was still pretty exhausted from that a little bit on Tuesday, so I slept in a little bit later. But once I was able to get into the tank and finally calm down, I forgot that I didn't close my door all the way to my float tank because it was a little bit warm in there for me today. It was a little bit humid, and with my anxiety that makes it usually worse. So I was like, okay, like I'm just gonna leave it open a little bit. Well, like not even like halfway through it slammed shut. It scared the living daylights out of me. I thought like Dan walked into the room or something, and I was just like, I woke up and I was like, where am I? Like, what just happened? Like,
what am I doing? Why am I in water?
Yeah, and I was just like, because like I was like gone, and I'm laying there and I'm like, wait, am I in the Starlight cabin? No, I'm not in the Starlight cabin. I was so confused as to where I was. Because normally the way I was laying, like I was laying sideways, technically.
Okay.
So when I was looking at the door, it was like I was in the Starlight cabin for some reason. That's what I thought of. And I was like, oh, okay. That's kind of, no, I'm not in the Starlight. Just kidding. And then like I just like, once I got over the anxiety of that, because it scared the living daylights out of me, then I just fell asleep and got super deep. I actually created my own float play track this week, like 5 minutes before I went to the tank. So I've been listening to meditation tracks before I go to bed at night. I usually set it up for about a half an hour. I have a timer on my Sonos.
Okay.
And I set up and I play it. And I found that it helps me stay asleep longer, and it helps me sleep deeper.
Wow.
But not deeper in a sense. So I'll usually listen to that. It'll usually make me super sleepy. I'll usually meditate with it.
Okay.
And then once I'm ready to go to bed, then I'll turn it off, or it'll automatically turn off, and then I'll go to sleep. And I found that I actually sleep more soundly through the night. So like I go to bed about, I've been trying to go to bed earlier on a more regular time frame when I'm not working. So I was in bed about 10:30. So I was asleep by 11 usually, if not a little bit earlier. I've had that happen some nights, but I didn't wake up until 4 a.m. Normally I'm up at least 3:30 until 3 to 4 or 5 a.m. some nights. I've had other nights where I didn't wake up until 6. So I was just like, oh wow, like this is actually really nice. And then I just realized that I was in like a super deep dream state, and then I actually wasn't resting. So I was like, okay guys, I'm done with you. I'm done with dreaming right now. Let me sleep. But once I did that, then I was able to sleep actually and get really well rested. So tonight's going to be a wonderful night of sleep. I'm very much so looking forward to it. Josh, are we ready to cut to my commercial? All right. So Jonathan and I created a commercial this week for some news places, I think. I don't know. We created it together. It was really fun. We sat in the back, and he was so like deep into this one idea, and I was like, hey, look at it this way. Do this. And he was like, oh, okay. So we're going to cut to that, and we will be back.
had some great things to say, Cherilyn.
Thanks.
Oh, we're back already? Oh, man.
30-second cut. 1, 2, 3, go. Just kidding. It was nice seeing you, Mike. Sorry I didn't say hi. Maybe I did say hi. You just didn't hear me. Hi. Can you hear me still? Okay, maybe not. No. I don't know what's going on here.
It's in a lag, too. So
It's all
probably
good.
way down there.
Do you guys have any questions out of curiosity for any of us? Please do. We like you guys.
About these 6 sweaters.
Dude, I'm really excited about these sweaters. Really excited. We did buy them for Dan, but I've had a lot of guests ask. They're like, where's your guys' sweaters? Because, like, I wear a sweater, but sometimes I'll wear my cool sweatshirt. I'm like, yeah, I love my sweatshirt. I may buy another shawl just to get the logo and print it on the back. I wear this
that'd
one,
be
like,
sick.
out. I know. I wear this one out, so, like, don't really want my work logo on it.
Or put
Like,
on
y'all
the
don't need to
inside. You
know.
could wear it inside out whenever you leave.
I should get a reversible sweater now.
Yeah. Just take out the tags.
right.
Oh, but then you have the... Never mind.
Hello, are you Mike?
Is that the vapor? Shouts out to all the vapor. I'm just kidding.
Are you Mike?
Are you Mike?
Is your name Mike?
Oh,
Okay,
check
sorry.
us out on Facebook.
Bye, friend.
He said, I am the vapor.
That's great.
I say I've got the T-shirt, and I've actually got the retro T-shirt, the very first,
Yes.
the light blue
Exclusive.
one, and I wear them all the time and share with people about Float Light and stuff. So they're very cool, very awesome. I've also got the logo on my computer, and
Wow.
still need decals though. You guys need them for the cars.
We have some
Float
stickers.
Fam decals.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
just take the stickers and just put them on our cars.
We should get like a big holographic one so it like shines at the light. That'd be crazy.
Awesome.
We should have a wall for all the ambassadors and put you up there.
Exactly.
If you made it past 50 floats, you got a wall.
There you
A
go.
wall of wonder.
We pay homage to you every time you walk in.
Good morning, Legacy.
Legacy.
You are the legacy.
Float fam.
Float fam.
OG
Legacy.
float fams.
OG, yeah, that's what I was just thinking. But it's actually, speaking of OG, so you're talking about how we have evolved.
Yeah.
Dan, you may not
I'm
even
new.
know. Like, we had, like, even with the baskets, like, instead of having the little individual spaces for the amenities, it was, like, in a little, like, tote, like, that just sat there. And I remember my first float, even how, you know, we hung the robes to having the water bottle inside.
Yep.
Initially wasn't inside.
Ooh.
The towel that's inside wasn't inside. We used to have like a lot of Burt's Bees stuff as well initially as well. So that was like pretty cool, and then like we evolved a little bit more.
I remember when the voice welcoming you to your float
Yes.
stuff was a
Oh my
robotic,
robot.
like female, you know,
Yes.
preset. And now it's Jesse's voice that
Yes.
welcomes you and brings you back and stuff.
How many of you guys remember the OG voice? Honest to God. That was probably... So many people honestly complain about it. Because they're like, yeah, like, it's like, I'm glad that I get to know I'm being welcomed back. Like, could you do it just a little bit nicer, though? And it was like, she would, like, the voice would just be like, welcome back. And you're just like, whoa. Calm down.
Yep.
It was just, like, super obnoxious.
Yeah.
And then, like, we have wonderful Jesse. He's just like, welcome back.
Yeah.
Love it. I'm so glad that we have her voice for that. It's really awesome. But yeah, even the ways, even out here, we've evolved.
Yep.
Things that we've added. We now have the merch
Yeah.
Card.
Display.
Next to Joe and Flo.
next to Joe
I
and
was here the
Flo.
day they came in their boxes, and she's like, "Oh, Joe and Flo is here." And I'm like,
yeah.
"Who? What?"
Yes. They were terrifying. So initially, you guys may not know, the Joe and Flo mannequins up front, they were initially skin toned. So Dan, you'll get a kick out of this. In the back, when you first walk back, they were all the way in the back, right before the wall, the little hole we have. So we didn't have the wall at that time cut out yet. So it was just before it. So when you would walk back there, it would scare the living daylights out of you. And they just had like the wigs on and they were like naked and like skin toned. So it was just like crazy. Even seeing, you know, those guys transform, the names that we had for them was very interesting. It's Flo and Joe usually it had stayed. I had thrown out a name because I had seen a skit on SNL, I believe. And I was like, I showed Jessie. I was like, Jessie, look at this. And she was like, oh my God. It was wonderful. It was great. But Joe made complete sense in Flo. So it was wonderful. But seeing all that evolve was just...
You guys they've added new books and stuff. I know that there's a recipe book in the back now. My daughter's looked through that. She picked out 2 recipes and she's anxious to make those.
Is she? Yep. Let us know how they turn out because they're all from the Void. The floating out in Portland, sent chefs, professional chefs into the float tanks, floated XYZ amount of times, and they created a float book, cookbook out of it. Stating this is what they thought about either during it or after it, and they combined these dishes and created this amazing float book. I wish we could just like make it here and like serve it to our people.
We can. I went to culinary school.
She's looking forward to the tomato soup one that was in there. So we had to get a better blender though in order to do it. So
sounds fantastic. Yep. I'm really excited, yo. I just like food. But yeah, you know, and the guests, the people that come here, so wonderful. I love my full flam. Love you guys, really do. Do we have any final words, Cherilyn?
Come try floating. It's worth it. It's worth it.
It's worth it. I like it. Any final words, Dan, man? I know you got something good. Yeah,
shouts out to Givens Farm. Shouts out to Appleton Seed Library and Appleton Public Library. Today I had this wonderful event I was at. It was for seed saving. So I learned how to save wet seeds and save dry seeds. And the importance of having like basically just having a community of people growing their own food. Because tomatoes at Walmart don't taste good. They're made for like... they're made to be in transit and be on the shelf for as long as they can, so the nutrition's not there, the taste is definitely not there. But if we all start growing tomatoes in our backyard and just swapping with each other, you grow cucumbers, I'll grow something else, we'll live a better life. And because once you're growing your own food, you could really taste the life in it, and it just makes life even more enjoyable. Life. So go to the Appleton Public Library and check out the Appleton Seed Library as well.
Very cool.
Got this.
Yeah, and also this Friday's Art on the Town.
Oh, you guys, Friday is Art on the Town. Park Art on the Town. What's up, guys? Right? Park on the Ave. That's what it's called. So calm down, hang out with us. Also have the marathon going on this weekend. So if any of you guys need a float after that, please come float with us. Massages. It's very worth it, I promise. We also have the Flourish event coming up at the T-Rat Stadium in Appleton. It is September 29th. It's a Sunday at 10 a.m. We will be there and hosting a booth as well. So come hang out with us. Come join us. We look forward, as always, to seeing you guys.
Cheryl from the Salt Room and Sierra, who are the actual event producers for Flourish.
Perfect. So, and also next guest on the show is Cheryl and Sierra. Cheryl is the owner of the Salt Room, and they have started the event for Flourish. So, we love you guys. We look forward to seeing you all very soon. Enjoy.